Hey, what's up? This is Leanne, and I'm recording this video specifically per request from Sheila. And I promised her that she would know when she started this video that this was the one that I promised her. So I think this will help you as well. And here's her question, okay? And I think you can see behind me that it's dark outside, and I think you'll appreciate that in a second. So here's what Sheila said in her email to me, and I'm going to read it to you. I know you're involved in so much, right? And she lists some of the projects that she knows I'm a part of, and these are big projects. And she said, plus you have a 15-month-old, which I do. He just turned 15 months 2 days ago on the 30th. And she said, how do you schedule your day? I don't even know where to begin, right? And the subject says, how do you time block your day? And so I said, you know what, I'll record a video for you and I'll let you know. And I know that, Sheila was frustrated because she just got involved in a couple of projects that I'm involved in, and there's a lot of videos to watch and there's a lot of work, and she has still a full-time real estate business, and there's a lot, and sometimes it's really hard to figure out what to do. So regarding the time of day, the only reason that I'm able to record this for you right now, and by the way, I think you'll appreciate the irony of me telling you how to get things done during the day, because it's 10 p.m. and obviously at this point I'd rather be in bed having a little kid. I don't get much sleep. The only reason I'm able to record this for you now tonight is that we actually went out to San Francisco and had some dinner with friends who came in from New Jersey. And we went out on the pier and stuff and had a good time. And Jacob got really tired. We stayed up past his bedtime. And he fell asleep in the car seat on the way home. So now I've got his car seat in the living room in the dark. And he's relaxing over there. And Donna's doing her own thing. Donna's my wife's name. And so I was able to come in my office and record this. But now, so a little bit ironic, right? 10 p.m. at night and I'm recording how to get stuff done during the day. But nonetheless, I think that you'll appreciate this and that this will help you. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start with the practical thing, okay, which is probably what you're expecting. I'm going to start with a practical way to get what you need to get done, okay, because a lot of things that you do are not really that necessary, and I'll explain that. But the second thing that I'm going to tell you about is some things that you might not be expecting, okay, so I'm going to start with the practical stuff, then I'm going to tell you some other things that can help you get things done that you might not be expecting. And I'm just going to take a look at my notes real quick. I'm going to tell you what to do if you can't get everything done, because you can't. And then I'm going to tell you the real reason why I'm able to get all the things that I need to get done finished, and why I'm here at 10 p.m. and finishing this and making this available to Sheila and to anyone else who's gone through that. And I know I have. So here's the deal. Let's start with the practical thing. I've done this before. I've got some props, okay? And the prop that I'm going to get for you right now, and I apologize for the mess behind me. I'm going to step out of the camera for a second. And let me get back here. And this is a little tub of sand that my wife got me one time, I think at Brookstone or something. She's in a lot of airports. So I just wanted to demonstrate something with this. And the practical thing that I want to tell you about is an exercise called rocks, okay? And every day or every night, okay, either early in the morning or late at night before my day starts, and I prefer to do it at night, and I recommend that you do it at night, I write down a list of my 5 rocks. Now here's what that means. I've told this story before, so I'll make it really short. Take a tub like this, or a container like this, fill it with big rocks. You only really have room for, let's say, 5 rocks, right? If you can just imagine that. And then it's kind of full, right? But then you can add more stuff, right? You can pour some pebbles in there. They'll fill in the slots. And then you can pour sand, like you see sand in here, right? And that's going to fill out the rest of the parts. Now, here's what happens, usually. Especially if you're feeling like there's too much stuff to do and you're not getting things done. What's happening is you're doing the sand and the pebbles first. And then you got these big rocks and you just can't get them done. They just won't fit. Okay, once I got the sand in here, there's no way I'm fitting all my rocks. You see what I'm getting at? So I write down my 5 rocks, and then I'll make a list of pebbles, maybe some sand that I want to get done too. And my rocks are the things that I absolutely have to get done that day. For example, if I'm scheduling a webinar for the next day and I've got to mail it out to people and I've got to get other people prepared, if I've got, co-host on the webinar, something like that. That's something I need to get done by a certain date. So if there's a deadline, that's going to be one of my rocks, and I'm going to get that done first. Paying bills. I pay the bills twice a month, so twice a month, that's one of my rocks, and I need to get it done, right? It's just something that I get done. And same thing goes, sometimes there's something that has been kind of lagging. Maybe it's been in my email and I've been waiting to do it and to look at it. Well, I'll put it as one of my rocks when I think it's time to get rid of it, when it's been slowing me down because it's in the back of my head. And you'll kind of get a sense of when to do that. So anyway, that's the rocks exercise. That's the practical thing. Now, a little side note about it. You've got to be okay when things don't get done. And that's just a fact. For example, right now as I'm recording this, my son could wake up and start crying, and I'd have to stop and I'd have to do it some other time. And you have to be okay with situations like that, because that's life, right? If you start resisting, if you start pushing against things, they're just going to push back. And it's just easier to go with the flow. So if I need to get something done and I don't get it done, it's not the end of the world. It's not. It is if I make it inside. If I think, oh my God, this is terrible. No, it's not the end of the world. Okay, life is about much bigger things than getting some particular thing done. Okay, so now the less practical stuff, but things that really help, and I've got more props for you. And first of all is energy, right? You got to have energy in order to get things done, and especially if you've got something like a 15-month-old kid running around and requiring your attention. And I'll just give you an example. This morning, the babysitter came in. I have a babysitter come in for 6 hours a day exactly, right? She came in, I was feeding him breakfast, and I went to go to work, and he was just, I don't know if he was tired or just fussy or who knows what was going on with him, but he literally wouldn't let me go work. And so I ended up having to spend an hour of my already limited time with him and taking care of him. And that happens. That happens, and again, it's something you got to be okay with. But let's talk about that energy now. You got to drink water. I try to drink 10 cups a day of water. Sometimes I have tea. Sometimes I'll have a cup of coffee. You know, maybe not the healthiest, but again, not perfect here. Just letting you know that you got to be hydrated. You got to stay hydrated. If you stay hydrated, you're going to have the energy to do what you need to do. You also got to obviously keep your nutrition going well. I'm not really the cook in my family. My wife is. She'll make the big, like, wonderful hearty meals. But what I do is I make shakes in my Vitamix. And this is one I just pulled out of the fridge to show you. And it's got a lot of greens in here and some fruit. So to me it tastes good. My wife can't even smell it without getting a headache, but I think she's just weird like that. But just having this, making a big batch of this and having this in the fridge and ready, this gives so much energy and so much nutrition to my cells, and it gives me the energy I need. And I'm just going to glance at my notes. So I talked to you about the practical stuff, the rocks, pebbles, and sand, and I'm going to get to the most important thing in a second here. Talked about health, and one thing I wanted to add was exercise, right? I meditated this morning, for example, and I put a blog post about that. So if you scroll down on my blog, you'll see it. And I do yoga, right? And yeah, maybe I don't do it as much as I want to, and I'll go for walks and things like that. But I make it a point to do that so that my body can feel good. And it's interesting how that works, because doing yoga, you do yoga to prepare for meditation. That's the goal of yoga, of the movement. And to me, doing yoga and doing meditation is a preparation for life. It's to actually practice life. So you gotta exercise your body, and you gotta feel good in your body and in your mind. Okay? Because if you're angry, if you're stressed, if anything is going on, you're gonna be taking away energy from your brain that you could use to focus and get things done faster. Let's just give another practical, and then I'll give the real reason why I'm able to do everything, which I think is going to change things for you. And the other practical thing is set time limits. Listen, I've got approximately 6 hours during the day, and it's actually less. It's usually 4 or 5 hours when I can actually sit down and work in chunks. And I give myself time limits. I've got my rocks, and sometimes I'll challenge myself when I say, let me see how fast I can finish this. Here's the goal. I'm going to finish it by this time. you can do a lot more than you think when you've got a time limit. Okay, so that's another practical thing. Now, here is the real reason. Okay, here's the real reason why I'm able to get all this stuff done, despite having a 15-month-old son that doesn't always let me work when I want to work, despite having a life and going out with my wife and having, you know, friends to spend time with and having fun in life and going and doing things and seeing family. I have a big vision. And there's something that I want to do in the world. Okay, I have a big reason why. And this is what carries me. This is what carries me. And by the way, I just wanted to interject there. Other than exercising your body, you've got to exercise your mind, and you've got to fill your mind with inspiration. So I just thought I'd throw that out there. If you're at Empower Network, you've got the Inner Circle, and you want to listen to those calls, because those give you the motivation to keep going when otherwise you might sit back and say, I gotta stop, I can't, or whatever negative stuff your brain says. But let's get back to the vision, because I've got a big reason why I do what I do. And I know that in order for me to reach my vision, I've got to help enough other people reach their whys and reach their visions. And that's why I'm here. And that's why I make it a point to do things like recording a video to answer someone's question when I could have just sent an email back and, or not done anything, right? But I've got a big reason why, and it carries me through everything. When right now, oh my gosh, how much I would love to sleep, but I'm here recording this because I want to help you. And because by helping you, I'm getting one little step closer to my why, my big vision, my big reason. And so all you need is that why, the reason why you're doing this. And if you're watching this, then it's very likely that you're building an online business. And so the question is, why are you doing it? And it's not money. It's not money. Forget about money, okay? It's not about the money. Maybe it's about your family, and maybe, I've had people tell me they want to leave a legacy to their wife and kids or grandkids. Maybe it's the freedom to be yourself, not having to answer to other people and bosses. The freedom to be okay with taking a day off and not having to ask somebody for it, not having to ask for vacation. Maybe it's something else. I don't know what it is for you. Maybe it's building schools in Uganda. Okay, I don't know what your big reason is, but find it. Find out what it is. And once you do, you could write it down on an index card if you need to and paste it above your computer screen. But that reason will carry you through anything. And I guarantee you, if I only had 2 hours a day to work, I would still get everything done, because I would make it happen. I would ignore my email and get other things done. I would get my rocks done, because my vision hinges on my rocks getting done every day. And that's what I do. And that's really it. So I hope that's helpful to you. I know that took a little bit long. I know, especially I'm thinking about Sheila, and Sheila said, there's not enough time. And I said, I'll record a quick video for you. So I apologize that went so long, but I think it's important. And it's a combination. You got to do the practical stuff. You got to get organized in terms of practical stuff. Sometimes you got to give yourself time limits and really push yourself and see what you can do, because you can do more than you think you can. And you got to keep healthy, and you got to keep feeling good in mind and body and spirit. And you just have to have that pull, that reason why. That's what you got to do. You got to have that reason why. And if you don't have it, send me an email right now. If you don't have my email, if you're not on my list, if you're on my blog, you've never met me before, or you're on YouTube watching this, whatever the case may be, there's going to be a link to my blog. Get on my blog, click on a banner on my blog, and from that banner, you'll be able to put your name and email. You'll immediately get an email from me. Respond to that, and I will help you figure out your reason why. Okay, that's my promise to you. It doesn't matter if 500 of you do that. The more of you do that, the faster I will reach my goal. Okay, and then the faster I'll get to my vision. So email me now if you don't know it. And if you do, then write it down, see it, envision it, and let it pull you forward and let it help you get everything done. All right, so I will see you next time. And hey, if you're not subscribed to my blog, subscribe now. Bye-bye.